Footballers who have been in prison. Ronaldinho, Benzema, and even Mendy were arrested for reasons you won't believe. Let's start with a super famous case. Ronaldinho and his brother Assis went to Paraguay after getting invited by a local businesswoman, Dani Alves, for some promotional events. But when they arrived there, they used fake passports and IDs. The police found out, and the two brothers got caught in a hotel. At first, the authorities thought Ronaldinho and Assis had been tricked and were cooperating with the investigation, admitting they messed up by using those fake documents. So they weren't going to face a criminal trial, they just had to do community service. But Judge Mirko Valinati didn't want to hear it, and sent them to jail to make sure they wouldn't run away. Ronaldinho and his brother were locked up in a high-security facility. But for Ronaldinho, it wasn't exactly a typical jail because he made the other inmates happy by signing autographs and even playing soccer. After 32 days behind bars, the brothers were allowed to serve their house arrest in a fancy hotel. They had to pay a $1.6 million bail. They stayed at the hotel for another 139 days until they reached an agreement with the Paraguayan justice system to return to Brazil. But he wasn't the only famous player who ended up on the wrong side of the law. Benzema got arrested for something unbelievable. It all started in 2015 when some guys threatened Benzema with a private video involving a guy named Mathieu Valbuena, who also played for the French national team. These crooks wanted Benzema to convince Valbuena to pay a lot of money to prevent the video from going public. Benzema agreed to be part of this scheme and went to Valbuena's room during the national team's camp, where he tried to talk him into making this deal. But Valbuena didn't fall for the trick and realized he was being deceived. He reported the case to the police, and Benzema ended up being accused of taking part in the extortion attempt. Both of them were kicked out of the French national team in 2015 and missed the chance to play in the 2016 European Championship in France. Benzema only made a comeback to the national team in 2021 during the European Championship. The trial happened in November 2021 at the Versailles court. Benzema got a 1-year suspended prison sentence, which means he would only go to jail if he messed up again. But if you think that's tough, check out what the former City player Mendy did. Benjamin Mendy is a left-back who played for Manchester City and the French national team. He became a world champion in 2018 and moved to City in 2017 for a huge amount at the time, around $332 million. That made him the most expensive defender ever at the time. But something terrible happened. In August 2021, his successful career took a dark turn. He got arrested in the UK on charges of abuse and assault, involving 5 cases that allegedly happened between October 2020 and August 2021. One of the victims was underage at the time. Manchester City suspended Mendy during the investigation and didn't extend his contract, which ended in June 2022. Mendy strongly denied the accusations, saying he wasn't a danger to women. He spent over 4 months in custody and was released in January 2022. Nowadays, he plays for Lorient in France. As surprising as it may seem, this case, where the player was accused of 7 abuse cases, wasn't the most shocking in the world of soccer. Get ready to hear about the darkest case of a player who went to jail. Eric Cantona shined for the Red Devils in the 90s and became famous not only for his goals and skills, but also for the controversies on and off the field. One of the most memorable incidents happened in January 1995 when he attacked a Crystal Palace fan who insulted him after getting sent off in a match. He got punished with a 9-month suspension and a fine of nearly $40,000 by the English Football Association, in addition to 2 weeks in jail, which were turned into 120 hours of community service. During that time, his friend and personal security, Ned Kelly, brought him a meal from McDonald's in jail, and they ate together while talking about soccer and other stuff. Cantona remained calm and in good spirits despite the tough situation and was liked by the prison staff, who asked for autographs and pictures. Cantona ended his career in 1997 at the age of 30 to pursue other projects, becoming an actor, football director, and beach soccer coach. He's considered one of the greatest players in the history of Manchester United and French soccer. Another very famous player who got convicted but couldn't avoid jail was Dani Alves. Check out the latest news on this controversial case. It all started in December 2022 when he was returning to Brazil after playing in the Copa America. He got caught at airport in Sao Paulo by the police, who were following an international arrest warrant from Spain. Dani Alves was accused of sexual abuse and assault against a 23-year-old woman at a nightclub in Barcelona. She claimed that Dani forced her to do something better left unsaid here after beating her up. Dani Alves swore that this didn't happen and kept changing his story. First, he said he didn't even know the woman. Then, he claimed it was all consensual. And to top it off, he said the girl was the one who attacked him in the bathroom. But the judge in Barcelona didn't buy his story and sent him to jail without bail. Dani Alves is currently behind bars in Barcelona, and there's no set release date yet. Now take a look at the terrible thing Robinho did. Robinho has played for big clubs like Real Madrid, Manchester City, and Milan. But his career got tarnished by a serious accusation: his involvement in a collective crime against a young woman in 2013 while playing for Milan. The crime allegedly happened at a nightclub in Milan, where Robinho and his friends were said to have abused the victim, who was drunk and unconscious. The Italian justice system started investigating in 2014, and in 2017, they were sentenced in the first instance to 9 years in prison each. In 2019, the conviction was confirmed in the second instance, and in January 2021, the Italian Court of Cassation upheld the final sentence. However, Robinho hasn't been arrested yet, all thanks to Brazilian law. The federal constitution prohibits the extradition of natural-born Brazilians to other countries. This means he can only be tried and imprisoned in Brazil. But for that to happen, the Superior Court of Justice must validate the Italian sentence and authorize the transfer of the penalty to Brazil. The process is ongoing, and as surprising as it may seem, Robinho's lawyers will still have the chance to defend their client, but we hope that justice will be served soon.